Hi guys, Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, we are back to, let me sit down. We are back to work on our fairy world. You guys can see the little bit of space I work in. It's like ridiculous. Okay, let me see if I can move this over. No, I really need to do it there. All right, you guys, I'm gonna have to move you. So, just a second. Let's see if this will work. Yes, that's gonna work out better. Okay, so let me see if you can make sure you can see the cake. Because I did this cake here, and now we're gonna work on this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the steps of how I turn this cake right here into this water feature. See how I turn it into like a water feature or like a waterfall? Okay, now the first thing I do is color the cake. Now normally I just leave it, I usually leave it whatever color the cake is, but in this case the cake is white, so we're gonna color these cakes. So what I'm using is water-soluble crayons, and they're Jane Davenport's. So for this technique, you can use any water-soluble crayon. I was trying to use the acrylic paint with a wet baby wipe and wiping it on, but it didn't seem to work as good as this. I need something more translucent so you can still see the what, I don't know. This worked good. So if you have any water-soluble crayons, that would work really good for this technique. Okay. But you probably still, if I would have worked with it harder, I probably still could have used the, what do you call it? A wet baby wipe, dip it into acrylic paint. Probably still could have done that. Okay, so I'm going to take this pink color, this light pink color, and I'm going to color it in. You don't have to be perfect, stay in the lines, but you don't have to be perfect about this because, we're going to use water. So now we're going to use some water on a brush. Oh my goodness, I didn't even change my water. Okay, you guys, I'm going to pause you, change my water. I'll be right back. My water looks like all hell. So I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I'm back. I just had to go get some fresh water because that water was horrendous. There we go. All right, so we just colored that. Let's wet our brush. Let's wet our brush and just blend this out. You know, another thing that might work good like this would have been watercolors. Because that's what water-soluble crayons remind me of. It's kind of like a watercolor in a stick. So you can also try that. I always like to try to give you more than one way to do something, more than one product to use, because we don't all have the same products. And nobody wants to hear, oh, you got to go out and buy this. No, you don't. All right, I just want to add a little bit of this purple in here. Just here and there, just to give a little bit of striations of something different in here. So we'll do it like this. And we'll do it like that. I love Jane Davenport's products. They are just, her craft supplies are just phenomenal. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to get that little bit of purple, like a little bit of lavender in there, just to give a little different, just give something else a little different in there. Okay, again, and we need this to be a color because we're going to use white for the water over this, but you can't do it over a white cake, and it's not going to really show up, so that's why we're doing this. Okay, and then let's take our violet Put that in here. Okay. There we are. Make sure my brush is nice and rinsed. Okay. So, we've done that. Okay, so, let's let that dry. It'll take 5 minutes to dry. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let's go to, and let me see if I can bring my camera down a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of it. Just a second. Okay. I want you guys to see as close as you can. Okay. Whenever I'm readjusting the camera, just excuse me. You have to readjust it to different areas. Okay, so this, remember right here I told you this was a perfume bottle turned upside down. Well, I want to create a little world within this world. What I did is I already, let me get my little brush. I already started creating that little world. I put a bunch of little stars here, little small stars. I put some shooting stars. I did one big huge star right here, which I love. I put some little birds in here. So I'm going to do that same thing in here. And we're also going to add some people too. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to sprinkle in some more stars on here. So I need some white paint. Okay. And let's take that and sprinkle some stars there. I'm going to sprinkle some stars here. And on my cake over here, I'm going to sprinkle some stars. Okay. I think when you sprinkle, well, when we sprinkle everything, it's fairy dust. For here, this means we're sprinkling for these little stars. So these sprinkles can be fairy dust, they can be stars, they can be snow. They're whatever we need them to be. Okay. And those are all little small ones. I'm just going to put little dots for like a little bit bigger ones. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some shooting stars. So remember, I'm going to take a dot that's maybe already there or put a dot there and shoot it out. Okay. Let me see if I can go the opposite way. Perfect. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't because my hand's at a weird angle. So I like that, so we won't do any more of those. Now let's do like a medium-sized star. And that's just the 3 to 4 flick outs, sometimes 5. Okay, on that white, you're not really seeing it. Let me do it. Let me do it over here. 1, 2, 3. We'll do that there. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. We'll do 5 over here. We'll do another one here. Flick out 1, 2, 3. I'll just do 3 on that one. So you just kind of do it to see what looks right. Okay. All right. So we have that. So next, let's do some birds. Oops, this is the wrong color. And I'm just using the cheapy cheap acrylic paints, 50-cent Apple Barrel, Walmart. For your craft paints, that's the best place to go is Walmart. They have the best price, 50 cents. You can't beat that. And they also carry folk art, and the folk art's really cheap too. It's 99 cents instead of paying like $1.50 or $2. So to me, for craft paints, they have the best prices. Okay, so let's do some birds. And the birds, you just make little V's like this. See? Just little V's. All right. And I put a few birds on the cake over here. Let's put a few more birds. Make sure you guys are seeing it. Okay. I think that really starts making things look real when you start seeing, like, you know, you start seeing water here, here, and here. You start seeing the birds in the sky, but also flying over the cake. It starts really bringing everything together. So I just think it adds continuity to your work, is if you see something one place, make sure you get it to another place or several other places, so it brings everything together. That's how I see it. Okay. Now, this cake up here could be like a little bridge, right? So we could do little people there. So while we have our black out, let me show you how to do little people. And I always say, people laugh when I say this, but these little people live in your brush. So what I do is I have a little head going first, and then I do a little body, and then I do legs. See? This one's going to have like a little hat on. There's the body. Here's the legs. Now I'm going to make a little small person. See how these people, they just live in your brush. And then I'm going to put, okay, these four people together. I'm going to put one lonely person over here. I'm going to do one lonely little person over here. Okay. But they're going to be fishing. So we're going to have a thing come down like that. Their pole. And the pole is just going to go straight down. Okay. Cool. Just making sure you guys can see those little people. Aren't they cute? I love them. Again, you can have these little people. Again, you can have them. Just making sure you can see. Here on the second level too. In between the waterfall. Like they're walking through the waterfall. So. Okay. So you can tap them and they're just walking through the waterfall. I think I'll have those three there and not put a third person right there because it makes it look obvious. So that looks good. And then you can have more people over here. Or you can just have one. Let's just have one person also fishing. Okay. Then their pole comes out. And it just goes straight down. Okay. And we just did one little person there. So I hope I have you guys close enough. So I love the little people. They can go everywhere. Okay, see also how right here, I did this waterfall right here. This is some rings stacked together. And I'll show you how to do that waterfall in just a second. But again, you can have some people. You can have some people here too. Okay. Let's have like a little mama and a little one. So we'll have a little bit smaller person. We'll just do two right there. Okay. And they're walking on that waterfall. So it just looks like little people far away. And I just think it adds a lot of like magic to your piece. Okay, so now that cake is dry, so we're going to, oh, real quick too, you can, this right here at the top of this house, there could be more little people there. There could be more little people over here. In fact, let's just put a couple here. Okay, we could put 2 more right on top of that house. So this could be like a little, this can be treated like a little bridge on top of this house. So, all kinds of things. And you know what, let's just do a few more birds going across, flying across the castle. Okay. All right, so there we go. All right, so we have all of that for now. So now let's go back over to the cake. Now I'm going to show you how to make a water feature out of the cake. We got it all colored up and it's dry now. Yes. All right, so sorry for coming across, but I have my paint on the other side, which I usually don't have, but that's how we're going to work it today. I usually have my white on it. Well, I like to work off this glass mat that I have. If not, I have some trays, but I already got paint over here on this side, so I'll just have to stretch across. No major. Okay, so come straight across, but in a messy way. Make it uneven because we are putting water in, like a water line is what I like to call it. Okay, see how that's kind of messy? Perfect. Even though we're creating a fantasy world, it makes things look more real, if that makes sense. So I put a little V in, okay? And then after I do the V, then that's when I have my water come down like this. I'm gonna have this one come really far down. Next one. Create another V and then have this one come down. And I think one of the most important things is to make sure that you don't have your water stops at different lengths. See how I'm stopping at all different lengths? I just think that's gonna look a lot better. And as you get down here, it needs to get thinner because of gravity, right? I'm bringing this one down all the way into the water. Okay. All right, so now let's go to this is the second layer of the cake. We're gonna put another water line in. Very messy, haphazard water line. And I just noticed that this white right here is paper. That needs to be filled in. We'll fill that in with some color. Another V, and then bring in the water down. I'm going to bring it all the way down into the water below. This one, we'll stop it a little bit, probably halfway. Now, I was going to talk to you guys about this. The reason I like to create these beautiful worlds, and they're not always fairy worlds, sometimes they're mermaid worlds, sometimes they're, we'll just go like a little bit like that. Sometimes they're fairy worlds. I do some even actually in space that are more like little galaxies. I haven't done that for a while. But they're little worlds that are worlds I'd want to live in. There's no pain. There's no racism. There's no divisions of society. People are people and they all help each other. I just think it's a beautiful world like we should be living in. There's no division. There's no classism. And that's why I like to create these worlds. I was just thinking about it one day. It didn't come first. The reason I create them didn't come first. I just started creating them. And I asked myself, I said, why are you creating these? And that's why. It's an escape. It's a place that, it's the way I want to see the world. And as artists, I think that's important. Tell your story. Show things how you want them to be. That's how things become reality. Okay, so now you guys saw that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add a little bit of fairy dust, because you guys know I love fairy dust. Become magical. Instant magic fairy dust does. Let's just fairy dust this over here. This is the ring, stack of rings. That's going to be another water feature. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go back and let's add some birds. You know what we're also going to add over here? We're going to add some shooting stars. Because these little cakes can also be inside of they're not cakes anymore. They're water features. Inside of these water features can be a little world itself too, right? So we just put either stars or fairy dust, whatever you want to call it. We just put birds. Let's also put some medium-sized stars, and then we'll also put shooting stars. First, let me do some shooting stars. There we go. Let's put a shooting star where? Let's put a shooting star down here. Cool. Love it. And let's see if we can't get one successfully going the other way for just a change of things. Yep, got it. Nice. And I see another shooting star going in right here. Perfect. Okay, and now let's do some medium-sized stars. That's like the 3 to 5 flick outs. We're just going to do 3 flick outs here on that star. Let's do some down here. And how many flick outs you do depends on the space you have. Kind of just what you're feeling at the time. And like the people and the birds, the stars live in your brush. That's how I think of them. Just a second, let me put on my readers because I need to. There we go. Oh, that's a better. It's amazing what happens when you can see. So let's throw some stars into here. Perfect. And so let's go back over to the other cake. And let's also throw some stars in this cake over here. It's not a cake anymore, Angela. It's a water feature. So let's go throw some medium-sized stars over here. Okay. Sorry if I get quiet. I'm just focusing for a second. Oh, and all this is done with my liner brush. I've not changed brushes. So it's this mermaid liner brush. I get these liner brushes at Hobby Lobby in the same section where they have the craft paint. Not the fine artist section, but the craft paint. And I love them. I think they are beautiful brushes. To me, they are a fine artist brush. They work beautifully. To me, what's a fine artist brush? The brush that works good for you. That's what a fine artist brush is. Some people may argue with me, but that's how I see it. Okay. All right. You know, I don't like that last one I did. It's kind of big. Kind of too big. There we go. This one's kind of too big also. All right. Let me see if I can. My brush was getting kind of funky and there's too much paint on my brush. Let's just see. And that's the nice thing about what we're doing. You can just wipe, take a wet baby wipe or a wet napkin and you can just wipe the, there we go. I think I like that. Yeah, I like that. And you can just wipe the paint off because of the matte medium on there. It will also do the same thing if you spray it with a matte acrylic spray paint. Remember I told you can do that? It creates that matte surface so that you can... I think this liner brush has about had it. It's starting to not keep a point. Just a second, let me grab another one. I have a ton of them. There's another one right there. Yeah, this one's, I may have to throw that one away. Okay. That looks good. And let's just do a few shooting stars. I think when you buy these brushes, I think you can buy a whole pack of nothing but liner brushes. I think it comes like that. They had a bunch of different sizes at one time. But the last time I was there, I was looking, they are kind of limited with their sizes. They don't have as much. At least at mine. So every Hobby Lobby can be a little bit different. They're pretty much the same, but sometimes it's a little bit different on what they have left. If they haven't ordered them for a while. So check it out if you want these brushes. They're beautiful. They're beautiful and they're really nice. Okay. I don't like that because it got a little bit thick at the end. Perfect. That's better. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now these waterfalls, these cakes have been turned into waterfalls. Plus they've been turned into little worlds, right? You have people on them. You have birds flying through. You have stars. You have shooting stars. So I love that. I'll do it off camera, but if I decide, I will put more people, like on top of here. I'll put some people probably here. I'll put some people here. Now these can also be little bridges, right? That these people are going underneath. And within this waterfall, there's a little world going on, right? You got birds, shooting stars, all different sizes of stars. So now let's go over to this. This is a pile of rings that I found. So I'm going to show you another way to do a waterfall. This is also how we did this. Is also how you do snow. So this could be snow or water. This right here looks more like pounding water. So I'm going to show you how I did it. This right here. It's very simple and very cool. Hopefully I'm at the right angle. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some paint like this. Bring it in pretty thick. I'm making the water line. Make sure you make it uneven. Okay, so actually let's do this like this. I'm getting it started with like a V, and I'm putting a lot of paint on there. Then you're going to take your finger. In this case, I'm going to take my, do you want to take my pinky? Yeah. And go straight down. Cool, huh? And it makes it just look like water. It's cool. So let's do another one here. So I'm making that V again, and I'm loading up a lot of paint because I want it to be enough paint for me to swoosh down. So I'm taking my pinky and make sure you make that sound. You don't have to make the sound, but I feel like it helps me. You're like, okay, yeah, nutty Angela. Okay. Okay, so let's just get a lot of paint right there and do it again. Right? And we're going to do it again here. Now, I had some paint dripping from the other thing there, but we're just going to ignore that. And we're going to create this here. Okay. Love it. Actually, I kind of want that to, there we go. Perfect. I love that. Look how cool that looks. Now, in between there, we can have a little bit of drizzles, like right here. Like there's a room in here for a little drizzle. Just the regular kind of water that we do. And do a little drizzle here. So there's quite a few techniques here. So there's a way to do regular water, or that could be snow, right? This is like water pounding over like a waterfall. So we've created a waterfall definitely here. We've created little waterfalls or water features and worlds. We've done a lot of stuff. Again, up here at the top, let me make sure you guys, I better be in frame. Yeah, I am. Okay. Up here at the top, we put people there, right? I could put people here too. All right. So I think we've touched on everything we wanted to get done. Like I said, oh, you know, I could add more birds in here. Let me just add a couple of birds in there while you guys are here, so you can see how that kind of looks. And the next step is going to be, I'm going to draw my, I haven't drawn her yet. I'm going to draw my girl. I'd like to draw these girls with long necks. I've learned that from Jane Davenport. Love Jane Davenport. And I love drawing girls with long necks and big eyes. And she's going to be a fairy. She'll have some wings. So I'm going to draw her, and on camera, we'll paint her up together. Then I will collage her into this world. I love doing that, collaging the girl into the work instead of drawing the girl right on top of all this. I have more control. I don't know. I just like doing it. Okay, off camera also, I may add more birds. I may add a little bit of anything you saw. I might add a little bit more to it. But pretty much we are done. Over here on the side, I need to add a little bit of paint in here. So I'll probably take a little bit of like blue, purple, whatever, just to kind of blend that out. So let me just show you guys by moving the paper what we've done. Created this beautiful fairy world. And then let me, just a second, let me just move my camera up a little bit so then you can see the bottom. Okay. So you see what you guys can do with some magazine bits or calendar, cheap 50-cent acrylic paint, and a piece of poster board. You can do a lot. Okay. I love it. So let me just bring this back down. I will have some close-ups at the end here. I had some close-ups probably at the beginning. I usually do that, and so you can see it all very, very close up. And like I said, the next step is going to be let me look at the time situation. Okay, we're good. The next thing's going to be I'm going to draw my girl. She's going to be a fairy with a nice long neck and all of that, with wings, and then I'll come back. We'll color her together so I can show you how I like to color my girls up, and then we will apply her into this world. So we probably have either 1 or 2 more videos, probably 2, because it'll take a whole video for me just to color up my girl, and then we'll apply her into this. So, and that'll be a real short video. So it'll be like a 4-part series, I think. Something like that. Okay, you guys, that is it for this one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. You can give this video a thumbs up. Any comments or questions, leave them below. Come visit me on Facebook and Instagram. I have a new link below if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, which is just a contribution to the channel. You can do that. Hey, honey. Let me know if you are going to do some artwork like this. I was going to say one more thing. Oh, and I have a group called Our Magical Little Place. Come join it. If you do artwork like this, or if you do collaging, if you do knitting, crocheting, whatever, everyone can come and share their artwork over there. It's a very beautiful, supportive group. Come do that. And that is it. And you guys know how I like to end a video. Do something nice for someone today. And remember, my friends, we have more in common than we do not. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!